Well, I thought I'd better show this since this is quite pleased with how this is coming across. This is one of these front guards that I'm fixing up. I've stripped all of the guards, and this is the passenger side one, and the original one, which is over here, is just way too dented. It's fixable, but it's just going to be a lot of hassle. But I do have these other guards which I picked up, but unsurprisingly the bottom section of them is rotted out to hell, so I've cut this out. The problem being that in this section is usually it rots out both the outer skin, this inner brace, and there's another brace on this side. So I've gone to the hassle of making three separate pieces. This one isn't quite bent up straight. Of making three separate pieces to do this. So made my outer skin, put a fold here, put a fold down here to fold it over, and then of course you've got to make these wee recesses at the bottom. This inner brace here just spot welds in the corners, and of course you've got to give it a wee bit of a recess to go in there. And then this section I've moulded it up to follow this along here, give it a wee bit of a bend at the back, give it a bit of a recess, drill a hole, and Bob's your uncle, and it should go in nicely. So it's a little bit of hassle around to make all these bits, but it's coming along reasonably nicely. And of course I've saved myself $70 and a week's waiting if I was to order the patch panel repair. And it's not really too difficult to fold all these bits up, it just takes a bit of time. So I'll show you once I've finished welding them in. Righto, got the back back braces tacked in. Now I'm just working on the skin. Just going slowly around it in short tacks, just like I showed on my other video, and should have this welded up pretty quickly. Pretty happy with how it's coming along so far. Right, pretty much finished that up. Just need a little bit of panel beading, and that should straighten it up quite nicely. And on the other side, you can see I've chucked some primer on it, and I've got my brace down here that I tack welded in. Put these plug welds in the back here, and I've got this section which I made out, which is blended into the area, and I've folded on the skin and put some tacks down there so it all holds in. Doesn't look factory, but there's always going to be a repair here, so what do you know, works for me. So there we go, pretty happy. Cheers. Just stripped all the paint of this, and other than my repair down there which needs a hammer and dolly, there's only really 3 other dents in it. Back here at the top I've got a small one here up by the body line, and then further on I've got quite a decent one in here that needs to be fixed. So I'll rip out the hammers and dollies and get to it. Here's a finished panel beaded state. I was able to get this pretty straight, it won't need much filler at all, and dents that were up here have been bashed out. This one here is really badly stretched, so I might have to, I've tried quench cooling it a few times to bring it back, but it might just need a little bit of filler, but that's okay. And of course the back of this is quite clean, quite nice. And so this is one side done, and over here this was one of the original guards on it, and of course we've got a very bad repair in the bottom, and here's a new panel I'm just making up at the moment to fit in there. How do I make these recesses? It's not too difficult. All I do is hold one edge of it in the corner of the vise there, take a hammer, start tapping. Lots of little taps, and you should get these. There's probably, if I go to the trouble of making dies and stuff like that, you could probably just make a die out of it and just put it in the vise and squeeze it up, but this way works just good enough for me. And of course with this one I'm going to have to make backside, of course, because someone's just gone in here and buried the MIG in here, and it's all pretty messed up. So make a new bit for the bottom, and then this side cut it up here. Won't have to make too much, won't have to go as far up here, so this one should be pretty easy to make. So that's where I'm sitting at. You notice this one looks a bit grey, that's because I've chucked some deoxidine on it, and yeah, slowly getting there. Cheers guys.